Good evening, league members of Condiments. This is your commish here, Thrills Alexander, with a new segment we'd like to call Questions for Condiments. So let's get started. We're going to look at each matchup, ask a question for each team, and give a prediction about what we think is going to happen here. A little much like the previous show, minus a lot of the talking. Oh snap, there goes the cameraman down for the count. Let's get that fixed right now. All right, first up, we got Cheese Whiz coming off a loss to Aioli, going up against King Sambal with a 1-0 record. Now, Cheese Whiz, question for you this week. Is Mark Andrews' projected point total of 12 and 31/100ths about 8 or 9 points too high? If you're not racking up points against that crap-ass Vegas Raider defense and whatever John Gruden is scheming up as the head coach, what can you do? I mean, we've seen Marquise Brown elevate his game a little bit. Tyson Williams out of the backfield. The ageless or fossil relic, Latavius Murray. And then you got Sammy Watkins stealing snatches from Mark Andrews. So, if he's not scoring a touchdown, what is he doing? Now, King Sambal, on the other hand, my question for you is, which one of your running backs is going to have a game-crushing fumble for his team in the real NFL rather than the fantasy world? Dalvin fumbles, hurts his team. Gibson fumbles, hurts his team. And another scrub on his team fumbles, but it didn't really hurt his team too much because they still won the game. But 3 of his running backs had fumbles in week 1 right there. I don't think the fumbles are going to make a difference there, as Dalvin's still going to be Dalvin and Gibson's still going to be Gibson. But King Sambal, you're going to be 2-0. I don't have a question about that. Cheese Whiz, 0-2, already digging himself a little hole. He might be in trouble. Probably not, though. We know Jay Grant's going to make a few deals. All right, but anyways, next up, honey mustard and mayonnaise. So honey mustard, can you rebound from just an awful week 1 for a team that came out of the draft with many others looking at it like, wow, this man has assembled a squad right here. To come out and lay an egg like you did in week 1, really, I know it pains you. It pains you. Fantasy football never been the thing for the owner of honey mustard. But this right here, thinking he's got it all, and then watching it just crumble in week 1, it's got to be painful. But there's plenty of time for movement there. Mayonnaise, on the other hand, my question for you is, will you capitalize your motherfucking name? I'm sick of looking at the lowercase letters. We are a league of professionals. And if you look at everyone else, we're capitalized because we are proper nouns. We are team names, Grammar Police. So can you please get that shit capitalized ASAP? Until then, I have no way of saying that I predict you to win anything because that's karma. For having bad grammar, I'm giving the victory to Honey Mustard this week. He's going to get his first dub, go to 1-1, and just like in the Baseball League, Ben will continue to be defeated to start the season. All right, next up, we've got Szechuan sauce versus here for the Chipotle. All right, so Szechuan, are you going to be the highest scoring loser again this week? In week 1, you outscored every losing team and a couple winning teams, yet you find yourself sitting at 0-1. Jamar Chase had a great week 1. Can he continue that? Would have been my second question, but I wanted to stick with this one. Here for the Chipotle, did anyone on this team not have a shitty week 1? Is there anybody on this team that doesn't have anywhere to go but up? You've got nothing but rainbows and butterflies and sunshine ahead because that week 1 was god-awful for you. Week 2 is not going to be much better. Your team will be more productive, but there's no way I picked you to beat Szechuan sauce. They're going to go to 1-1 while you're going to fall to 0-2. All right, next up, we've got Aioli going up against soy sauce. Soy sauce came out firing, bang, bang, guns a-blazing in week 1, racking up the 3rd most points in the league behind Golden Srirachas and Ranch Bitch. Excuse me, I think soy sauce might have been 2nd and Ranch Bitch 3rd. Go fact check me if you must. But soy sauce not only can your team repeat, but I'm looking long term. Because can you count on Mike Davis? You have virtually no RB depth right now, which is a scary thing in week 1 to only have 1.5 quality running backs. Mike Davis never proving he can do a full gig over 16 games and really carry the full workload like a Zeke Elliott, like a Nick Chubb, those bell cows right there. So is he going to be just hovering in the 24 to 16 range all season, or can he elevate him from the 16 to maybe a top 10 running back, seeing as how he's the only man in Atlanta that can carry the ball? So Aioli, on the other hand, are you going to be able to count on Tyreek Hill to score 50 points a week? Because otherwise, you got lucky in week 1. Without that massive 75-yard bomb, which accounted for roughly half of Tyreek Hill points on the day, if you don't get some more production from the other parts, you're going to be in trouble there. And I think you could be in trouble here in week 2, as Soy Sauce has formed a quite formidable squad, and he will go to 2-0, while Aioli falls to 1-1. All right, next up we've got one of the high scorers of the week, Ranch Bitch, going up against Cool Whip. Now, Cool Whip, in the draft you're a little leery about receivers, and looking at your team, I can see you should definitely be leery of that. Were you aware that receivers were a position that we were drafting this year until about an hour and a half into the draft? You were just focused on those QBs and running backs that appeared, because outside of Antonio Brown lucking into week 1 right there and looking like Tom Brady's go-to guy, maybe tied with Chris Godwin, is Mike Evans being phased out? I don't know, but if you don't get some more production outside of Antonio, it could be bad news. And Ranch Bitch, are you going to regret spending $35 on a San Francisco running back this early in the season, knowing the way Kyle Shanahan rotates his running backs in and out? As someone who has personally owned 2 San Francisco running backs this year and accumulated a whopping 2 points, I can say it's a tricky ride right there. So you better hope that Elijah just takes that gig and rides out of town with it. Right? But this week, I think that you will be the one riding out of town with not a loss, but a victory. Ranch Bitch goes to 2-0, while Cool Whip falls to 1-1. Our last matchup of the week brings us to our highest scoring team of the week versus our most chatty member of the week. And we've got Marcus versus Alex. Tabasco sauce versus golden srirachas here. So Tabasco sauce, my question for you is, why the hell do you have a backup kicker? There's literally 18, 20 more kicker. Just drop McManus or drop the other one, dude. But why the hell do you have 2 kickers? I don't understand that. While my question for golden srirachas, and this is a question I not only ask you, but I ask myself, why the frick, or why the fug did I invite you back to the league? You highest scoring, good team looking son of a bitch right there. So acting like, I'm coming in blind to the draft. Blind my ass. The man had some knowledge coming into the draft, and he utilized it to a week 1 victory. And unfortunately, if you're playing against somebody where I can a backup kicker, there's no way in God's green earth I can pick you to lose. So I'm going to go with golden srirachas there to go to 2-0, while Tabasco sauce falls to, well, I don't even have his record down here. Lost this week. All right, so going forward, that's King Sambal, honey mustard, Szechuan sauce, soy sauce, ranch bitch, and golden srirachas. Picking up dubs this week. And let's see if their teams answer the questions for condiments. That's it for your commish, Thrills Alexander. I'll see everybody on the Slack board. Have a good one.